Hey, there's a lot of people that don't know a lot about the technical specifics of photography. I had about 15 people email me about another large YouTuber talking about myths of photography, and two of those myths were micro contrast and deleting images on your camera. And those are actually not myths, okay? They're not myths. I've actually addressed micro contrast, or what specifically is image fidelity, very, very extensively. It's absolutely not a myth at all. It's about low gain intertonal detail, so calling something micro contrast is incorrect. And the YouTuber that mentioned this said, well, I would like to see an unsharp lens with high micro contrast. I have a lot of those lenses like that. One example out of countless would be like the 105 millimeter f1.8 AIS Nikkor. That lens is not very sharp, but it's got killer micro contrast, extremely low element count, high quality Nikkor lens. Very, very high image fidelity, but not very sharp. And he also said, well, I would like to see a guy with silver hair, okay, a YouTuber. I would like to see a very low micro contrast lens that is very, very sharp. There's actually a lot of lenses like that. Most of the modern lenses that are over designed with excessive numbers of elements within them, which are designed to curb out chromatic aberration and vignetting, etc. What they also do, since glass is not only a capacitor, people think glass is an insulator, which it is, but there's no such thing as a pure insulator, there's no such thing as a pure capacitor, but glass is a capacitor. What this micro contrast, specifically image fidelity, is low gain intertonal detail. Now, it goes by several different names. I mean, I specifically call it what it should be called, image fidelity. It's been called Zeiss pop, lens pop, image pop, micro contrast. It goes by about a half a dozen different names. Everybody knows what flash pop is, and I don't mean the actual popping noise of a flash, but the actual, oh my god, look at that. Wow, you can tell that's a flash shot. Just the tonality is incredible. Basically 100% of everybody out there acknowledges the tonality that exists with flash photography. Well, there's absolutely no difference between the pop or the wow or the great tonality of flash photography than there is from what is conventionally called micro contrast or Zeiss pop or lens pop or image fidelity. It's the exact same thing. It is low gain intertonal detail. Everything is about gain, yeah? Since glass is both a capacitor and an insulator, that low gain signal, yeah, that's lost. Here's an image, here's an example, very, very simple analogy to paint it in your head. Let's say you make a really fine line drawing of something, right? That would be incredibly sharp. Just tons and tons of detail, including very fine lines of all the fine. Well, that's beautiful, but it's flat. It's flat. Yeah, where are the gradations, the shading, the intertonality between one line to another? Oh, it doesn't exist. These are examples of modern, high accuracy, very sharp lenses that have very poor image fidelity or micro contrast. Yes? That shading, if you will. Let's say you could take the best artist in the world with a charcoal pencil. But you first give him a pencil and he does a fine, like an Etch-a-Sketch. There's like a master of Etch-a-Sketch. They can make drawings with those two little freaking knobs that are just incredible. Just every little detail of like a barn or a scenery, but there's no shading in there. There's no tonality. That is what people call micro contrast, which is kind of a stupid name. It is low gain intertonal detail. So micro contrast is not a myth, okay? The other myth, okay, that you should never use the delete button on your camera, it's BS. It's not a myth at all. There is not a single person on this earth that should ever use the delete button. So, well, I ran out of space. Like, you didn't bring a spare set of SD cards or XQD cards or compact flash cards. Yeah. No person on this earth, not a single one, ever has a need or a call to hit the delete button on their camera. Why do they put the delete button on the damn camera? It's a stupid feature for stupid people. You should never use your damn camera like your damn computer. Period. Nobody on this earth should ever use the delete button on their camera. It only messes with the table of contents. So it's easy. Listen, one of the executives of Lexar and another person that actually, because Kodak used to actually make a digital storage media also. These experts, well, that was back in the day. No, I'm talking about like a recent Lexar technician said you should never use the delete button. Never use it. There are countless examples where people, I've had it happen to me twice. Okay? I even had another person in talking about it recently. He's like, I've shot like over 1 million images, and the only time I ever had my media cards corrupted was when I stupidly deleted a few images using the delete button on the camera. Your camera is not a computer. You should not be reviewing and culling. No person on this earth, doesn't matter how expensive your camera is, should be using your damn camera as a device for culling image. Well, that image sucks. Delete that. You're an idiot. So you want to cull. Your BS excuses. You want to cull images on that tiny ass little LCD screen. Don't care what camera it is. Don't care if it's the best LCD screen ever. You should never ever do that. You never, not you, nor you, nor you, nor anybody has a wherewithal, a premise, a valid excuse to ever touch the delete button on your damn camera. Never, ever, ever, ever. Period. You don't touch the damn thing. Okay? You're an idiot if you're doing that. Okay? I mean, just say, well, you're being rude. Oh, I'm being accurate. It's not a myth. Your camera is designed to do one thing. Flush data, both RAW and JPEG, or just RAW. Should be shooting RAW and JPEG. There's a reason for that. I've explained it a thousand times. To be flushing data to the cards. Your camera is not designed. Well, it can do it. I don't know what you're talking about. You can cull images with your camera. No. Every professional camera out there has stupid little BS features in it, and the biggest BS feature on any digital camera, professional or otherwise, is the delete button. It's there for fools and more, because if they removed it, if a professional camera company, say, Sony, Nikon, I don't give a who does it, we took the delete button off your camera because you should always have spare media cards. You should not be using your camera to cull your images. So we've removed the delete button from the Sony blah 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 or the Fujifilm blah 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 blah. People, stupid people anyway, would go, why did you remove the delete button? You removed a feature? The delete button's not a feature. It's there for stupid people. And stupid people only. You never have an excuse to use, well, how do you get images off the camera? It's easy. When you're done shooting at the end of the day, you take those cards, you stick them in your computer, you make backup copies, multiple redundancies, depending on whatever your system is for that, okay? You take them out, you never format them in your computer. Never do that. You take the media card out, you stick it back in your damn camera, and then you go to your camera and you go, format! And then, flushes the TOC. That's exactly how every professional photographer with 5 brain cells uses their camera, okay? They have a formatted card that was formatted in the camera, not the computer. Stick it in, they go out and they take their damn pictures. They pull the media cards out, you stick it in your computer, make redundant copies, edit them, cull the images at your computer, pop the media cards out, stick it back in your camera, then format it! But you never use that bleeping, effing delete button on your camera. Ever. Media card corruption using the delete button is not a myth. It's a reality. And shame on you, Mr. doesn't know too much, for saying that it's a myth. Micro contrast, i.e. image fidelity, is not a myth. It's a hardcore scientific fact. You want some math to back that up? E equals nu V. Look that up. Energy equals the frequency times the Planck's constant. You know what that is? You want some math behind micro contrast? There it is. E equals nu V. Look that crap up. Micro contrast, i.e. image fidelity, is as real as a heart attack. I've also given you examples of high micro contrast, yet not very sharp lenses, and also examples of very sharp lenses with really crap micro contrast. Sigma! Sigma! Uncle Kenny knows a few things. Uncle Kenny knows that those so-called myths are actually not myths at all. They're not unicorns. They're reality. It's like back in the days of England. There's no such thing as a black swan. And then some explorers went out and they came back. They brought black swans. Like, here you go, black swan. They said it was a myth. There's a story about the black swan. People say, there's no such thing as a black swan. So yeah, I know explorers saw it. Yeah. It was like a bet made. Some sort of bet made, and then the explorers went out. Oh, I'll show him. They captured some black swans and they brought it. It's not a myth. Microcontrast, i.e. image fidelity, is not a myth. Girlfriend. Okay? Bye. Lux Everetus.